Screencast here is going to cover Chapter 9, Lesson 4.5. Lesson 4.5, continuing on the poolside document. We've added some filters, etc. Let's go ahead and hide the plant left copy layer. Okay, and let's go ahead and oh, bless me. What we're going to do is we're going to add another little filter here, but let's go ahead and get on the pool layer itself. So the pool layer down there, right above the background. And let's go to the marquee tool. Let's select rectangular marquee. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag a little selection right in here. I'll zoom in so you can see that, but I'm just kind of getting the water. We're going to see what we can do with that. Let's start back up to filter on the menu, and let's go down to distort. So we haven't looked at distortions yet, and let's go to ripple. So distort on a ripple, you can see it right here in the middle what you're actually doing, and if you change the amount, that's when you can really see the type of ripple that you're going to be doing. I'm going to go probably about 150%, maybe a little bit more. What, 156? You can change the size. You go medium or large or small, depending on how big your ripple. I'm going to do mine at medium. Gives it that nice ripple look. I'm going to click OK. Now, since I am so zoomed into my image, it looks pixelated, but when I zoom back out, it's going to look awesome. Do a Command-D, deselect, but that's what that ripple is. So you can use ripple on water, you can use it on a lot of things. You just got to figure out where and when is the best time to use it. Let's go to the plant center layer. Plant center layer. Let's add a little noise to this. So we're going to go to Filter, Noise, Add Noise. I'm going to move it in here and zoom in a little bit on this box. I kind of see it, and you can crank up that noise. What it's going to do is just pixelate it. It's going to make it really colorful. I'm going to leave it as uniform, and I'm going to go to probably around 30%, about 30% or so. I'm going to click OK. Now that's a little extreme, but you can see what the distort tool does. The goal here is to figure out the actual tools and what they do. I'm going to advance here to Lesson 5 here. Let's go to the plant left layer. On the plant left layer, let's go to Filter, Render, probably one of my favorite filters, and then we're going to go to Lens Flare. We can either do lens flare or lighting effects. I'm going to go lens flare. So while you're in the lens flare here, you're doing it just to one layer. This doesn't show up in the whole document. If you move the point around here, you can actually change where the flare is. And you can also change the brightness of that. And then you can change the type of lens that the actual lens flare is. Now looking at this, this might not be the best option for this particular layer, even though it is one of my favorite filters. I'm going to hit cancel. Let's try with the lighting effect. See what it looks like. So let's go to Filter, Render, Lighting Effects. Might take a second to pull up. See, if I go to the lighting effects here, my whole interface has changed. I have this kind of weird circular pattern. I can move it, and you can see as the closer you move it to the little circle, it's like a spotlight. It's like a flashlight. Okay? Currently I'm on Spot. If you go up here to the Properties panel that pops up, you see where it says Spot, the drop down? You can go to Point or Infinite. And you can change the type of light that it's actually going to do. Okay, I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to go back to Spot. I'm going to kind of leave it alone right there. So I got it on Spot. I'm going to move it down a little bit. It really kind of looks like a flashlight. And we can rotate this. We can swing this around to get a different look. You can expand and contract it. I'm going to put it right about here, and you can come in and you can colorize it. You can change the intensity of the light, the hot spot, how big the hot spot is, which is that circle in the middle. You can give it a couple different looks, but if you just change and tweak that over the right, colorize it, give it a red look if you want. You can really just add a lot of different effects with it. I like kind of just leaving it alone at that flashlight area. Go ahead and click OK, which is up at the top of your screen here. One thing I will is before you click OK, you can see that you have different types of lights here. We run that back. So in this whole area, if I go to presets up top, it's on custom, You can change it to 3 down. Like I could go 3 spotlights down, soft spot 3 down. It would give me 3 individual lights. I was referring to it as like a flashlight. This is the actual flashlight, even though the one I was on, I kind of like to think it looks like a flashlight. So there's lots of different looks you can do. Land on one. I'd play around with that preset just to show that Photoshop, there's not one individual thing. There's multiple ways you can change it. To commit changes, we click on OK up at the top, and then we're back into our normal view on the actual panel. Let's go ahead and add a finishing touch to this by putting in some text. I'm going to click on my text tool, and I'm going to make sure I'm on the pool layer. And I'm going to just use just a basic font. I'm going to go ahead and use Impact. I like that because it's just kind of basic. I'm going to change my font size down to about 30. And I'm going to do a color black. And I'm going to click, and I'm going to type in Join Us Pool Side. And I'm going to add a layer style to that. I'm going to add probably an outer glow because it's just kind of black text. I'm going to change my mode there to normal, give it a little bit more of a size and spread on that. There we go. I'm going to move that down a little bit. Join Us Poolside and put that down there. We will be continuing to use this one in the next lesson. The next lesson is going to take a little bit longer to explain, but we're going to do what's called vanishing points. So Command S to save. That's going to include Chapter 9, 4, and 5.